Hey, future aviators! Welcome to Brightifyme Academy. Your journey to the cockpit starts right now. Stay tuned, stay motivated, and thank you for being here. Let's fly high.
All right, today we're taking to the skies to untangle the pretty complex world of pilot licenses. If you want to fly internationally, you've got to know 3 acronyms: ICAO, FAA, and EASA. So we're going to break down exactly what they are and what they mean for any aspiring pilot out there. You know, for so many of us, that dream of flying is just so powerful. The view from the captain's seat, right? The freedom of the open sky. But before anyone can take the controls, you have to navigate this whole world of rules and regulations. And that's exactly where our journey begins. So that dream of flight, as it turns out, is built on a very solid foundation of rules and regulations. It's a global system designed to keep everyone safe, from the tiniest private plane all the way up to the largest jumbo jet. See, to fly internationally, a pilot can't just get a license from their local flight school and go. Nope. They have to meet a set of global standards. Think of it like a universal language of aviation that every country agrees to speak. So who writes this global rulebook? Well, that question brings us to our first key player, ICAO, the International Civil Aviation Organization. The easiest way to think about it is like the United Nations, but for aviation. It's really the bedrock of the entire global system. So here's the crucial point about ICAO. It doesn't actually hand out pilot licenses to individuals. Instead, it creates the framework, the minimum standards for training, safety, and procedures that the national authorities then use to build their own licensing systems. This is a great way to think about it. ICAO creates the detailed, tested recipe for aviation safety, but it's up to each individual country to actually get in the kitchen, gather all the ingredients, and do the baking, which in this case means issuing the license. And we're talking about a big kitchen. 193 member countries have all agreed to use ICAO's recipe. This is what makes international air travel even possible. It ensures that a pilot trained in Brazil meets the exact same fundamental standards as a pilot trained in Japan. Now, while you've got all those member states following that recipe, 2 master chefs have kind of emerged whose licenses are the most recognized in the world: the American FAA and the European EASA. First up is the FAA. If you're planning to fly in the United States, this is the authority you'll be dealing with. It's one of the oldest and, frankly, most influential aviation bodies in the world. And its counterpart across the Atlantic is EASA. This body sets the standards for all European Union member states, which creates a unified sky across most of the continent. So what's the core difference in their approach? Well, the FAA has traditionally placed a really heavy emphasis on stick and rudder skills, the practical, hands-on experience of actually flying the aircraft. EASA, on the other hand, puts a greater stress on a deep, comprehensive understanding of theory before a pilot even starts racking up significant flight hours. Okay, so let's just break it down. The choice becomes pretty clear depending on what your goals are. Your primary region is the biggest factor, and the training focus really reflects that philosophical difference we just talked about. Ultimately, if your career is going to be in the US, the FAA is your path. If it's in Europe, EASA is the way to go. And all this leads to the big decision every single aspiring pilot has to make. It's not just about learning to fly, it's about choosing the right framework for your entire future career. It's a personal question for sure, but the answer depends on some very practical factors. It's all about being strategic right from day one of your training. So here's a simple 3-step guide. First, and most importantly, where do you see yourself living and flying? Second, what are your ambitions? Flying for a domestic US carrier is a very different world than flying for a European low-cost airline. And finally, look into the specifics. Research the schools, and know that converting a license from FAA to EASA, or vice versa, is possible, but it's gonna involve extra time and money. So, if you take just one thing away from this, let it be this: your choice of license is fundamentally a geographical one. It sets you up for a career in a specific part of the world, so you have to plan accordingly. Let's wrap this up with a really simple way to think about your future pilot license. It's a perfect metaphor. Just like a passport, your pilot license is the official document that grants you flying privileges. And just as a passport is issued by a specific country and is subject to its laws, your pilot license is issued by a national authority, like the FAA or an EASA state, and it gives you the right to fly according to their rules and within their jurisdiction. And, that leaves us with a fascinating final thought. In an age where everything's getting more and more global and pilots often fly for airlines all over the world, does this regional system still make the most sense? Will we one day see a single, truly global pilot license that's recognized everywhere without any conversion needed? Definitely something to think about.
Dreaming of flying across the world? Not just India, but Paris, London, Dubai? An EASA license is your passport to global skies, recognized in 31 countries and accepted by airlines worldwide. Train in Europe with modern aircraft, multicultural exposure, and the world's highest safety standards. And yes, you can always convert back to DGCA if you choose to return. Confused about costs, universities, or visa process? We're here to help, for free. Hurry, click the link below to register for your free one-on-one consultation today. Limited seats available. Your global cockpit awaits.